If you've already read today's Psalm 26, you may be a little perplexed if you read it quickly. What's David on about here? Is he a little bit out of touch with reality? He's pouring his heart out in complaint to God, and he says right there in verse 1, "But Lord, I've led a blameless life." Well, we know quite well King David didn't lead a blameless life. Maybe we should take him and say, "David, why don't you go and read one of your own Psalms? What about Psalm 51 especially, where you poured your heart out in broken repentance to God because of the shameful behavior of what you did that's recorded for us there in 2 Samuel 11. And even yesterday, Psalm 25, David seems to be going through a tough time because he's perhaps brought it on himself by his own wrong behavior. Well, context is essential always. And Psalm 26 is a very different situation context than Psalm 25. Here, David, today in Psalm 26, is being pursued by his enemies. It's probably Saul the king. And in this situation with Saul, all David did was be this loving, loyal servant. And yet Saul wants him dead. He's so jealous of him. And so David goes and he pours out his heart in complaint to God. And that's what we should do. This is a psalm here. It's a model psalm, a model prayer when we're suffering unjustly. We're never to think that every single time we suffer, it's because of sin we've committed. We'll often suffer because things are done to us that are unjust. And rather than going and telling the world about it, let's go to God and really be honest, open with him, pour out your heart to him. Because David here in verse 8 says, even in the midst of feeling broken and devastated, "Lord, I love the house where you live, where your glory dwells." And he knows that no matter what's going on, if he goes to God and he trusts him, God will bring him through. Because the last verse is a verse of confidence that David speaks of, confident that he will be vindicated, that he will be lifted out of this situation and his reputation kept intact. So much so that he even finishes by saying, "And I'm going to praise you, Lord, for this. I'm going to give you great glory for getting me out of this situation." So, tough times because of things others have done and said to us, go to God, pour your heart out, but believe and be confident. He will vindicate you and he will bring you through it.